what I do, trying to get this screen right for everybody that's looking. All right, now we in the game. Now we in the game. We working. We making it shake. You know what it is. Ask all your questions in the comment section, and I will hit every comment in the comment section that there is. Let me hit the mute button there. All right. So what I'm gonna do is while people jump in and tag along to get along, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the financial update for the week. And again, we're talking about things that affect you. We're not talking about things that just regular out there in the news. So things that really affect you financially, that's the things that we try to aim and focus on. Of course, we get off topic and I hit other areas out there in the geopolitical space and then on the political realm of right and left, and then I hit all those. But let's hit the financial aspects that really matter that will affect your life. All right, first up, TikTok and China. TikTok, China, US, they're coming to a deal. It was announced on Friday they're coming to a deal for all the people that was worried about, not having a platform on TikTok because the United States was going to shut down the TikTok platform. That will not happen. I believe that they will come to a deal. I believe. Now, I could be totally wrong. Trump can do what Trump do, and then next thing you know, at the midnight hour, they mess it all up, and then things could go on. But I believe a deal will get done. So for the people that was fearing that TikTok was going to go the way of the dodo bird, I disagree. But again, with that, you got to understand of who owns the intellectual properties. And again, this looks like it's a little high, but you got to understand who owns the intellectual properties to that. When I say who owns the intellectual properties, I'm talking about where can you make money. The thing is, you got to know because again, ByteDance will sell off the U.S. portion to the United States, but who will buy it? And then investing in that company, I think that will be advantageous to you as an investor. One of the people that I know, and this is the only company that I know, is Oracle. Oracle still will host their cloud-based services when they come to the United States. So that is a play. And I believe John Horsley, Road Dogg in the Discord, for people that don't know, he brought that up to us months ago. Of course, I wasn't paying attention to Oracle, but he brought it up. And then we talked about how that would be a good investment. And between the time of when he brought it up to our attention until now, Oracle's is up, I believe, about 80%. But y'all can double check me on that. So that's number one. That's what happened during this week. Another thing that's going on for people that's not, familiar with the financial political space, but familiar with everything else going on in the political space, the debt ceiling is coming to a rise. And the fight over the debt ceiling, and the debt ceiling is just, hey, can we raise the limit of the credit card that we're spending to fund agreements that we already agreed to do? I don't know why it's a big deal, no matter what side does it. I don't care if it's Democrats that has control and then the Republicans are controlling the House, or if it's Republicans controlling the House, Senate, presidency, and then they're doing it. But the thing is you already agreed to these bills, so you need to pay for them. And then this is one way that Congress and they make the citizens believe that, hey, y'all need us because of this. And this is raise the debt ceiling. Again, if you already agreed to pay the bills, then why raise the debt ceiling? Why is this even a component that we even talking about? Y'all already agreed to pay it. So with that, the debt ceiling. So for the Democrats that want to raise the debt ceiling, what they want is to increase the Obamacare or ACA tax credits. They want to extend it. And then I know y'all gonna think that, since he leans more to the right than the left, that he disagrees with it. I always tell people, I win anyway. I will play this no matter which way it goes. I have plays that is in the healthcare AI space that will benefit if the Democrats win. I have plays if the Democrats don't win, then I'm still going to win. But should the Affordable Health Care Act tax credits be extended? I don't care. I don't care either way. I'm agnostic of whatever the outcome is. The only thing I care about is making sure I win. And that's the thing that I want everybody here to understand. You just want to win. Stop trying to sit here and play the sides and be like, oh, okay, well, because I believe in this, I can't make money. Yeah, no, you can make money either way. I'm agnostic of whichever the outcome comes. But I believe, and the Republicans don't have enough votes to pass the debt ceiling, to raise the debt ceiling, without the Democrats putting in their votes. So something got to break. Now, do I agree with the legislation that came across on Friday where it said that we need to give $1.5 billion to illegals for healthcare? No, I don't. I don't agree with that. But if they extend the tax credits, I get it. I mean, we was put in this system. We was put in this system. Then people are used to the system. Americans are used to the system, so the Americans should benefit. But should illegal immigrants and people that's not Americans benefit? I don't believe so. So that's that. Something else that came out, and I'm trying to hit these fast so like we can get into the gatekeeping concept and the talk about topics. One of the other things that's out there is the 100K for H-1B visas. I 100% agree with that. Thanks for the eyelash comment, but I agree with the H-1B visa thing that came along that Trump put out there that hey, we need to add a cost, $100,000 cost to the H-1B visas. And yes, it will affect tech companies first. So just to give an understanding, my order of operation goes God, then country, then minority America. That's where it goes. So if these tech companies got to pay $100,000 to import workers, then that will put the total cost on par with American workers. So I'm all for you importing workers if there is no more American workers out there. 100% for it. But first, extract all the American workers first and then go outside the United States and get it. So I'm all for the 100K for the H-1B visas for employment in the United States. Just giving my view on it, and I look at it as, okay, you could pay these workers outside the country less, but you get more workers for less because you're using the visa process. But it's Americans that went to college that, specialize in these certain specialties that they can't do it because you don't want to hire them because you have to pay them more. So making a level playing field, that is the name of the game. That's the way I play, and I believe in that 100%. We're not going to talk about end of the quarterly reports because most people don't know about that, but Donald Trump tried to end quarterly reports for businesses. But again, that philosophy has been also endorsed by Warren Buffett and Jamie Dimon. Of course, reporting earnings is great, but doing the whole earnings show because it gives you a short-term mentality. But again, that's stuff that don't really matter to the majority of people because majority of the people don't even know what that is. All right, next up. It was an article that came out on CNBC. Article came out on CNBC that 26.6% of trading in vehicles was underwater or have negative equity. That's record highs, people. Or I'm going to say 4-year highs. It's record highs in the last 4 years, 5 years. But 26.6% of vehicles that have been traded in are underwater. And then, of course, you could just, if you go back 4 years, we're talking about COVID time frame. We're talking about, hey, distancing. We're talking about, hey, a lot of automotive companies were just selling vehicles, sight unseen, yada, 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 boosting up the price because the interest rate was so low. And then now, fast forward at 4 years, those same vehicles, because the price was so high, even though you paid the monthly payment, you're still underwater because the vehicle today is not worth the vehicle that it is. I mean, the vehicle today is not worth what you thought it was because, again, vehicles are depreciating assets. So just understand that's a canary in a coal mine when it comes to like recessionary concerns. And I was putting quotes out there, recessionary concerns. When people start trading in vehicles and then they're underwater, that's a big problem because what happens is that negative equity got to roll into the next vehicle, so you're negative again, and then you keep doing it over and over again, and then you just wonder what the hell is going on. And then you never get to pay off the vehicle. I am a proponent. If you buy a vehicle, you should pay it off fast as possible. And when I say I believe it, that's exactly what my family do. I do not tell you anything here that we don't do inside this house. And I know it's some people that believe, oh, well, he said one thing on social media, and then he do something else. No, I'm telling you the blueprint because I'm trying to get you to the same place where I'm at, where I can do whatever I want when I want. Now, I don't do everything, but I can do whatever I want when I want. Yeah, and I'm still gonna complain about the value menu at Wendy's going up to $6, $7. Yep, I'm still complaining about all that. But I still can do whatever I want when I want. What else going on out there? We're not gonna talk about that. I'll just pass that up. All right, another thing. So for everybody that's sitting out there worried about the great financial crisis, the prices of houses are going to drop. Understand this. Hear me well and understand this. 40, and this is something that came out this week. Everything I'm telling you came out this week. 40.3% of the homes in America are owned outright. That's owner occupied. That's owner occupied. 40.3% of the homes are owned outright. So what did I tell you? It's not like the GFC where everybody was doing all those fancy loans, the ARM loans, and all that other stuff, leveraging themselves out the hilt. This is 100% people that own or occupy their homes, 40% of them own it outright. So if you think that the value is going to collapse like the GFC, you're sadly mistaken. But what do I see in that number? 40.3% own it outright. So, of course, those are a lot of boomers that own that. What I see is opportunity for, hey, if you want to unask those properties from them, there's a lot of creative financing opportunities that will benefit you as a buyer and them as a seller. That's what I see. I mean, we talked on this channel how I just bought a triplex from a boomer that his kids didn't want to take it over, and then I bought the property on terms. That's all this is. So, but if y'all expecting this big collapse like the great financial crisis, 50, 60, like in, Florida context, 70% decreases in property, y'all waiting for a miracle. It's not gonna happen. Y'all waiting for a miracle, it's not gonna happen. So another thing that I want to talk about, because we talked about this on this live, I want to say 5 weeks ago, and I talked about how the far right believed that because Donald Trump said the interest rates need to be cut, that the interest rate need to be cut. I said that I don't believe that they need to be cut because Economics 101 says in a good environment or the booming economy, you should not cut interest rates. I went with academia. They went with whatever Trump said. And then so I brought up the fact a couple weeks ago that the last time the Fed cut rates was December of 2024. And then the 10-year interest rate, which controls the mortgage rate, is the thing that affected the mortgage rate actually went up. So the mortgage rate actually went up, even though the Fed cut rates on the shorter end of the curve. So then what do we have this week? The Fed cut rates 25 basis points. Going into the meeting, the interest rate for the 10-year rate dropped to 3.99%. So it brought down the mortgage rate. But then soon as the Fed announced that they was lowering the interest rate, the 10-year treasury continued to rise, along with the mortgage rate continued to rise. So again, I tell you, you don't affect or you don't control or the Fed don't control what the mortgage rate is. Now they can separate the spread or change the spread for banks of what they can do, but the 10-year treasury is free floating based off of supply and demand. So understand, the only way that the mortgage rate can go down is if there's fear in the market. Fear meaning they believe that we're going into a recession. If they don't believe we're going into a recession, the debt market, which is way bigger, 3 times bigger than the stock market, it will go inverse. So instead of people buying the 10-year treasury to make the interest rate go down or the mortgage rate go down, people start selling off treasuries and now the interest rate is going up. That's how it works. The Fed has no control over it. And then so to the people that's on the right that said, oh, Trump said we need to lower interest rates, it'll help us out in the middle class, poorer class. I said, no, it won't if the mortgage rates go up. And what do we have here? The mortgage rates are going up. People ask on the left and the right. They say, oh, well, if you know that, why don't the government know that? The truth is they do know that. They know that, but they know you don't know that. So they can say whatever they want to say, you're going to agree with it, and then you just got to deal with the ramifications, but you won't correlate the two. That's how it works. It's not something special out there, some secret sauce. It's economics 101. You cannot cut rates when it's a booming economy. Right now, the unemployment rate is at 4.6%. Everybody's thinking like, oh, whoa, wait, what the hell? Understand, 4.6% in the United States is still full employment. Full employment in the United States is 6% of unemployment. There's still full employment. So now that the Fed lowered the interest rate, the mortgage rates are going higher, the car loan rates are going higher. If you caught it in the last 2 weeks before they made the announcement, maybe you made a slick move. But the truth of the reality is that is not the causation of everything. Meaning that just because they lower the rates on the short end, that means you benefit on the long end. You only benefit on the long end when you're prepared, your debt to income ratio is higher. You, instead of going out to the club, partying and chilling, you got a lot of income, you got a lot of money, and then the economy goes bad, people rush into fear. That means they buy the 10-year treasury, they buy the 7-year notes, they buy all those different apparatuses, the 30-year notes to push the interest rate down. That's when you benefit. But the truth of the matter is, people's debt to income ratio is not where it needs to be. So that's why the interest rate will go higher. And then people will just have to deal with what they have to deal with. Now, when they announce that a recession is, which can't happen till March, according to how they announce recessions, recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. We just had positive GDP in the last quarter. I think they announced it again on like October 30th or whatever for the third quarter. We can't go there until March. So even if they announce a negative GDP in September, we still got to wait October, November, December, and then they'll announce it sometime in February or March, or end of January or February. That's the reality of it. Sorry to bring you the memo, but that's how it works. And I've said many of times, I believe the middle class and the poor has been in a cyclical recession, that's the word I'm looking for, since September of 2022. Meaning that the lower middle class, the middle class has been hit. We had the white collar recession that I've talked about for many moons. That's what's going on. But that is stuff that we talked about. But let's get into the subject matter at hand. I mean, of course, I got a trillion more topics on this list, but I'm not going to go over them. The last one I'm going to go over before we hit this gatekeeping thing is the whole notion of freedom of speech. And again, it has something to do with your money, so just so you understand. because you've seen a lot of people over the past week lose their jobs because of stuff that they posted on TikTok because of Charlie Kirk. And I am 100% a proponent of freedom of speech. I believe whatever you say in your house, whatever you believe, that's what you believe. You can say whatever you want. But the notion to believe that because you have your social media placed on private, that means it's not private. It's called social. And lawyers have said the same thing. Black lawyers, if that helps anybody else out. It's called social media. That means social means what you say in the public. But still, I believe whatever you say, you should not be criminally prosecuted for. I believe whatever you say, nobody should come to your home and bomb your house or do anything nefarious to your family for what you say. But people, listen and believe. If you represent a company, and when I mean represent a company, again, I always tell you, study history. If I come on here and then I put company logos on my shirt or places that I worked before on my shirt, and then I say something that will anger 50% of the masses, my company has a right, because I'm affecting them, to retaliate against me for what I said. So you're free of speech, but you're not free of consequences. Understand that. Make sure we all have an understanding of that. So for the people that's been impacted for what they said on social media, it sucks. But the true reality is on historical terms, on your timeline of stuff you posted, you might have, went on live or you went on social media and posted pictures with your name tag on, with what you're wearing, where you work at, and all this other stuff. Or you may have a LinkedIn page that just link you to it. Or you give people your full name. Those are the things that will tie you back to a company. And then once the video that you post, no matter what side of the aisle it is, that you post goes to your employer, then the employer makes a decision. So always remember that. And this whole cancel culture or people losing their job culture is not something new. This is not because they talking about Charlie Kirk and they think that because Trump's in office, then, he's trying to, bring the arm of the government down. People, study history. When I say study history, then you will see what's been done has been done before. I'm going to just give you 3 names, and then you can go about it as you want. The PA announcer for the Sacramento Kings, and I believe it's Sacramento Kings. Y'all can fact check me on this. The PA announcer for the Sacramento Kings said something bad about George Floyd. He lost his job. The writer for Law and Order said something about George Floyd and the BLM movement. He lost his job. Gina Carano said something bad about the COVID vaccination, tying it with the Jewish community. She lost her job. So the same company that suspended Jimmy Kimmel is the same company that suspended Gina Carano. So if it was bad to suspend her then, it's bad to suspend Jimmy Kimmel now. If it's good to suspend her then because she was talking about COVID, then it's good to suspend Jimmy Kimmel now. I'm not picking sides on this. But understand, it's already been done before. So don't get in this illusion that, just because Trump in office, this is the first time it happened. No, it hasn't. But the thing is the media know that most people, we will not go back and search history to see the truth. So for all the people on the left and right, when I say stuff and they be like, well, why ain't the government saying it? Why you the only one to know it? I'm not the only one to know it. It's the simple fact that they know we won't go back and search history so they can push anything off over the ignorant people. That's all. So now, gatekeeping. I love this topic because I believe I believe the topic is a farce. I'll just start it off with that. I believe gatekeeping is a farce. I always hear people talk about gatekeeping. And the only gatekeepers, and please don't get offended when I say this, the only gatekeepers on this earth are women. And I'm not anti-women. I'm saying women are the only people that can control life on this earth. Tell me where the lie is. So they are the keepers of what can and cannot happen on this earth. And it's not a women hate thing. This is just the truth. Without women, we cannot produce kids to pass along information to. So they are the only true, quote unquote, gatekeepers on this earth. Everything else, when it comes to finance, when it comes to beliefs, anything else, is nothing to gatekeep. Now there's a thing called lazy, but there's nothing called gatekeep. And again, before I started this video, I wanted to be truly benevolent, innocent, didn't know a clue. But I believe that you don't even need anybody, especially with these supercomputers that you have in your pocket. You don't need anybody to figure out success. And then what I'm going to do is right here live. So if I mess up and then I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on three platforms. These are the only 3 platforms I'm going to use on all the questions I'm asked. ChatGPT, Google, and YouTube. That's it. All free. Y'all know I'm cheap, so y'all know I'm not about to spend no money on the damn thing. So don't even worry about that. And then for the people out there, please hit the like, subscribe button, and all that other good stuff. Let's get those numbers up for that. All right, so gatekeeping. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm on ChatGPT now. So if anybody else that's sitting next to a computer or got their phone or got an extra phone or whatever, what have you, you can follow along. All right, so people saying becoming a millionaire or whatever is hard in the United States. Or the people that's already millionaires are hiding information from the regular everyday person. I try to keep these videos short, but we might run longer in the tooth because I still got to answer these questions out there before that. But the thing I'm going to ask ChatGPT right now, I'm going to pretend I'm a single father. I'm a single father with 2 kids. Single father with 2 kids. I bring in $60,000, $70,000 a year. And I'm going to ask, how much do I need to save to become a millionaire? And I'm going to pretend I'm 27, but I'm going to say in the next 35 years. So that's the question I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Let's see what we get. All right. So I said I'm a single father with 2 kids making $70K a year. How much do I need to save and invest to become a millionaire save and invest to become a millionaire by the age of 65? I'm 27 years old now. You're 27 years old. You want $1 million by 65. You earn $70,000 a year. This is the answer that they gave me. That gives you 68 years to grow your money. You invest consistently every month. Average annual return is 70%. This is conservative because anybody that knows that the S&P 500 over the past 100 years has averaged 10 to 12, but they're using a 7% annual. How much do I need to save and invest? They did a calculation formula, $1 million minus whatever. You need to invest about $300 a month. That's $3,600 a year to hit $1 million by the time you're 65. The gate's wide open. So now you already know, $300 a month. If you're 27 years old, $300 a month, you put it in a conservative 7% interest rate. 7% interest rate or annual return rate. By the age you're 65, you hit $1 million. This was free. I just asked a question. So sorry I didn't type in how to do the cha-cha slide or how to do chicken noodle soup. I asked what is best beneficial to me. And they gave me the numbers. And then it says, how do it grow over time? $300 a month invested at a 7% return gives you $1 million at the age of 65. If you can push it to $500 a month, you would have $1.65 million. If you had only $200 a month, you would end up with $650,000. That's at a 700%. That's at a 7% return. Again, the S&P 500 over the last 100 years has averaged a 10 to 12% return. How many more gates you need? You got the job. You're a single parent. You got 2 kids. $300. So now I know the next question is going to be, oh, well, where do I'm a single father. I got 2 kids. How do I come up with that? How do I come up with that money? So now let me ask. I'm a single father with 2 kids, making $70K a month. I mean, $70K a year. Pre-tax, so we can do that. How can I invest $300 per month and still live? I'm just gonna say Tampa because that's where I'm at, but you can pick whatever whatever city you're in. How can I still live in? How can I still afford to live in Tampa? Let's see what we got. All right, this is what it says. That's a great question. It takes planning, budgeting, and figuring out what you need versus what you want. I'll show you the cost and what Tampa looks like, then how you might squeeze out $300 a month for investing without making your life too tight if you want. I can even build a simple budget for your situation. So this is what ChatGPT, and the funny thing is what ChatGPT say is the same thing that I tell everybody else. Scrunch down your income, scrunch down your lifestyle so you can have cash flow. That means more money on top of what your everyday expenses is to invest. But this is what ChatGPT said. It says, here are some recent numbers in Tampa so we can see what we're working with. A 1-bedroom apartment, $1,460 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. That right there. So if we go down here, so $1,460 a month, utilities and water, garbage, yada yada yada. That's another $300. It varies a lot with 2 kids. It depends on the age, if they go into daycare or what have you. But how do I make $300 a month to invest and work and live affordably? Budget. Audit your budget. That's the same thing I'm saying. That's the same thing I'm saying. You don't need me to tell you. AI tell you the same thing. The thing is most people don't believe it's true because they believe that the rich got rich from some secret sauce in the back room. The truth is, what happens is we bring in income, and I'm talking about the people that have money. We bring in income and we live our life way less than what we make, and then the extra that we have on top, we invest. That's how it works. Audit your budget. Housing choice. Just because you make $70,000 a year, that don't mean you need to live in the neighborhood where everybody else making $70,000 a year. I've talked many times on this channel how I was living in a 3,000 square foot home, and then I downsized to a 600 square foot apartment so I could have cash flow to invest. What they said is what I said. Utilities and bills. Reduce your electricity bill, AC settings, efficient light bulbs, turn off when you don't need it. I've talked about it on this channel how I unscrew light bulbs and my wife set the AC to a high number, and then if you got hot, you just need to go outside or get in the bathtub because we ain't touching AC. Where's the gatekeepers? The information is here. Now, when I started, it was just books. And yeah, the internet was out there, but it's not as nearly as sophisticated as it was now. But the information is right here. Everything that I'm saying, I've been saying on this channel, has been here, right here, at your fingertips. At your fingertips. All free. But the thing is, we want to search for the wrong thing. Y'all want to know how many passes Lamar Jackson or the guy who got injured, Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, how much he threw. They already got their money. They already said. But you care more about that than your own financial situation. And then it says food and groceries, plan meals, cook at home more often, buy in bulk, limit eating or takeout, pack lunches. Everything that every other financial channel on YouTube or social media say. Everything that every book say. Transportation, childcare, automate savings and investing. I talk about it all the time. You should invest first and then make your life fit within your budget. Don't set your budget and then spend, and then be like, all right, I got $300 left. What do I do? It's invest first as it's a bill, and then you live your life, and then whatever extra, that's when you can go do whatever you want to do. Brian Adams, and I'm going to do a video about this. He said in the video, he said, everybody talk like they're hungry, but they walk around and act like they're well fed. I'll say it again for the people in the back that didn't hear. People they talk like they're hungry, meaning, yeah, I'm ready to do this, I'm ready to get in there, I'm ready to make moves, I'm doing my thing. But then when it's time for action, they act like they well fed. Meaning, oh, no, I'm going to go out to the parties, I'm going to go out to the club, I got this get together, I got this, yada, yada, yada. I mean, literally, this past weekend, y'all know I was in Texas. I stopped at a gentleman's house, and then, we sit there and talk. We talked about investing, and I said, hey, man, investing got to be just like a bill. And then the first thing he did was he acted like he was financially sophisticated, meaning that, but what happened? What happened if, something big come up and I need that money to do this? I said, what do you do today? Matter of fact, go log into your bank account right now and tell me how much money you got in case of emergency. And the number was what everybody expected or what I expected. Little or nothing. So when you go on the fuck off and do all this other crazy stuff, you're not worried about the emergencies. But now when we start talking about investing, instead of spending your money to invest your money, now magically you're worried about emergencies. People talk like they're hungry, but they act like they're well fed. That's what it is. Ain't nobody standing at the gate preventing you to come in. The problem is people don't want to turn that key to go inside the gate because, that's work. That's work. Everybody think that the people with money know something where I have to do absolutely nothing, sit on my butt, and then money will flow in. Tell me where that happened. I mean, we can go to Warren Buffett. Yep, people don't realize, everybody see Warren Buffett now, but people didn't realize when Warren Buffett was knocking on doors in his neighborhood trying to raise money to acquire Berkshire Hathaway. Work. Nobody didn't know that Warren Buffett said Berkshire Hathaway was the worst investment that he ever made, besides the Brooks Shoe Company. And he had to work to get it to where it is today. Nobody don't want to talk about how Jeff Bezos was in his garage and his wife was out there working, slaving to take care of the family while he just grinded in the garage to sell books and then made Amazon what it is today. Work. Somehow, the people who don't have it just think that, it's a leapfrog from 0 to 100 million without work. And that's not true. That is not true. You still have to put work in. Even on this channel, I always talk about, and we always talk about, hey, yeah, the passive income is great, but you have to do the work first to get the passive income. Every time you see a social media influencer or anything else, they showing you their life after doing the work. I'm telling you what the work looked like. If you're not willing to do the work, then that's on you. But it's nobody standing at the gate to stop you from doing anything. I don't care if you white, black, Chinese, orange, green. Nobody is stopping you in America. Now, other countries, they can be doing whatever they want to. But in America, ain't nobody stopping you. It ain't a white man that ever stopped me from doing anything. And I'm black. For people that don't know, because people be like, oh, they don't know. Ain't nobody stopping me. I don't sit here and get emotional about what somebody's skin color is. I don't get emotional about none of that stuff. I can make money with white people, black people, Chinese people, Asian people. It don't matter. I don't hold what your feelings is in your heart that you hold inside your household against you. And I'm not just saying it on social media. This is the life I live. I have a few properties that I know that, I mean, they don't know who own the properties, of course, but I know that it's Klans members. I know that it's Nazi people or swastika, or I don't know, white supremacist people that I own. I don't go over there jacking up the rent on them just because. That's what they believe. I'm not here to monitor the social morals of people. As long as you pay your rent on time, we're good. That's what it is. I'm not a coon. I'm not a sellout. I'm not worried about stuff that I can control. I'm not here to control everybody else's mind. I'm here to just show people that the lies that people believed and said, so on and so forth, is not out there. So again, now ChatGPT, free site, free, just told you everything you need to do at 27 years old to become a millionaire. There's nobody to keep that gate. It's up to you to take action and actually do it. So, I mean, of course, if your number is higher than 1 million and you need to change the stats, but you can go. I'm a single father. I'm married. We bring in the household income of yada, yada, yada. We want XYZ money by this age. It will give you the information. The question is, what do you do with the information? I've read a lot of books. I've been on, because I believe in continued learning. I'm on a lot of social media sites. I listen to podcasts. I do all of that. Not one. I don't give a care if it's Wall Street Trapper, who is black, Dave Ramsey, who is white, Brian Adamson, Lumberjack Landlord, which is white, Brian Adamson, black, Dion Financial Talk, Financial Peace. None of them, no matter what side, has ever said, oh, this is only for black people, or this is only for white people. It says money works like this, the deal works like this, and if you do this, then you can get the results. The problem is nobody don't want to do the work. In America 2025, there is no gatekeepers. It's lazy people. That's what it is. They don't want to do the work. And I could have went on about other stuff if you said, hey, I need a job in IT that's making $70,000 a year, and then ChatGPT might have said something about get your Excel skills up to work in office. You don't need to go to college to get your Excel skills up. Microsoft Excel, for the people that don't know. You can literally watch videos on YouTube, beginner, basic, intermediate, advanced Excel. You sit there and study it, and then you sit there and test out the applications and pull up data and do VLOOKUPs, HLOOKUPs, pivot tables, yada, yada, yada. Then you have experience in that for free. But your skills came up. Ain't nobody stopping us but us. Everything that I've learned, I have never went out there and paid somebody to do it. And then for the people that sit there and get upset talking about, oh, you gatekeeping because you got a paid platform. If you knew how much work it took for them to go through the crucible and learn all this stuff for themselves, you would sell the information also. This ain't a 5-hour, course and they learned all this. This is a lifetime of learning, and then you want it for free, and then they know half of the stuff you won't do. I remember sitting there talking to a guy when it came to crypto trading back when I was like 23, 24. And I asked him about, not crypto. It was Forex trading. And then so he told me the beginning steps. And then I was like, okay, man, tell me what else. And then he said, I'm not gonna do that. He's like, because you don't even understand the first concept and you want the whole playbook when it took me years to learn it. Of course, I sat there at 24 years old being ignorant. Oh man, he gatekeeping. He don't want to tell me this. But then when I started looking at it, and then I got older and mature, and I started looking in the Forex thing, I said, this motherfucker got to know a lot to even get to the place that he's at. So I understand why he didn't want to sit there. Now I understand why he didn't want to sit there and give me all the information. I was better off then at 24 saying, okay, man, I did everything you said. Now what's next? Okay, I did everything you said. Now what's next? But no, I wanted all the information. I wanted all the answers to the test, and I ain't did a damn thing. And I'm gonna be honest, if he would have gave me all the answers to the test, I still wouldn't have did nothing with it because I wouldn't have had no fucking clue. But everybody think that there's somebody sitting at the gate. The person that's sitting at the gate is you. Because you, me, and all the people don't want to look in the mirror and say, the reason why I don't have success is because of me. The reason why I don't have success, because I still want to hang out with the broke homies on the weekend. The reason why I don't have success is because I believe after I work 9 to 5, I shouldn't have to work no more to better myself. The reason why I don't have nothing is because I don't want to put in more effort than my boss asked me to put in. Everything else, we got to work hard to play hard. That's where the gatekeepers are ourselves. It's not the information. The information is there. And then we can go to Google and yada, 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 so on and so forth, and it will give you all the information that you need for free. Like when I talk about how the rich don't pay taxes. You can go on Google or ChatGPT and figure it out. You can go on YouTube and figure it out. Only thing you got to do, it ain't selective to the rich. It's not selective to the white. It's not selective to the black, Chinese, Jews. It's not selective to nobody. Only thing you got to do is see how they do it and replicate what they're doing. Ain't nobody going to stop you. But the thing is, you don't want to do the work to find out. And then on top of doing the work to find out, you don't want to do the work to put in to make it happen. That is the real gatekeepers. Ourselves. Because I was there, I thought, it's gatekeepers, yada, 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 yada. And then I read the Total Money Makeover. I read it 3 times. Because I was waiting for him to say something about black people. Because I wanted to be quick to be like, oh, hell no, I ain't listening to him. He don't like black people. And I read it 3 times. He ain't mentioned nothing about, this only worked for white, black, or, white, Chinese, Mexicans. He didn't say none of that. This is how it worked. And then I said, okay, I'm going to miss myself in this $1 million. Just off Dave Ramsey. That is the key to the game, people. And then I was going to go deeper into it, but I think I hit my points. All right, so let's go to the questions out here. What is Finlio? Finlio is, Ludine, that's a good question. Finlio is a all-in-one trading platform. It is is offering financial education. If you want to pay for it, go ahead. God bless you. But again, like I just showed here and explained here, all the stuff is free. You don't have to pay for nothing. Sep said, bro, got the female eyes. I guess he means female eyelashes. Thank you. I get compliments on that all the time. Thank you, Sep. Where did your hairline migrate to? That's a good question. I haven't had hair on my head since I believe I was like 27, 28. Getting tired of trying to force everybody to get their life together. But okay, Sep, it was fun to play with you, but I'm gonna keep going on. He's openly pandering conservative bullet points. Oh, fine. If that I mean, I'm not gonna be quiet about it. But the thing is, the difference between me and the Jimmy Kimballs and the rest of the world out there, I answer to me. I answer to my family. It ain't nothing that I said that's gonna get me fired from anything, unless I fire myself, and I ain't that damn stupid. So I can say what I want to say. So good, good way to bring that up. I'm glad you brought that up. Uh, ba, 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 ba. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? I just see a lot of crazy talk. Nothing left out there. I see Dad say yes. Invest first is the key. Levita said invest first is the key. That's 100% correct. If you not investing first and then you waiting till the last pennies you got after you pay for everything that you want to do, then you fail. That's just the true reality of it. That's the true reality of it. Now, you've heard me say it. You've heard many people on social media platforms say it. You've seen AI said it. You can go to Google, they'll say it. If you go to YouTube, they'll say it. You have to make investing like a bill that you can't afford to miss. Just like a cell phone bill. You got to make it like that. Because I know a lot of people, they won't pay nothing, but they're going to pay their cell phone bill. So that's what investing should be like. If you want to get to where you want to get to. The older I get, the more I realize every single event news, world event is a tradable and has potential for profit depending on what you own. Same is true in the inverse. Jams 3, you're 100% correct. I mean, I can lean one way on the political sphere. But the thing is, unlike the MAGA super right or the super left in the political space, only thing I care about is the money. I mean, not saying I can point out when something's wrong that is wrong, but the true reality is it don't matter what person that's in Congress, one person that's in president, that's the president, that's going to affect my way of life, my family's way of life, how much money I'm going to make. It's not going to affect them whatsoever. Me, I care more about the local politics in the areas that I operate than I care about who's president. It don't affect me whatsoever. But all of it is a tradable event. Like I said at the beginning, I have plays that if the Democrats get their way, which I'm okay if they do, to raise the debt ceiling is to enhance the ACH credit. It's not that's not political for me. I know it's a possibility because they need the Democrats to pass a debt ceiling bill. So I'm gonna sit here ignorant because I believe they shouldn't give money to places that it don't give money, but I know if they do it, then money's gonna be made. But I'm gonna sit here based off principle? No, because I know all of the politicians will waver whichever way that they go. I don't sit there and play that game. The people that's in Washington should not ever affect your life. If they affect your life, shame on you, not shame on them. If they affecting your life, that means you did nothing outside of the 9-to-5 job that you may work. Your life is so important, but you let other people control it. And I'm talking about outside of the 9-to-5. That's shame on you. But ain't nobody sitting there holding the gate. Nobody is sitting there holding the gate closed. You just got to do work to walk through it, get information, gain information, action the information, and put it to work. If you don't want to do that, the gatekeeper is you. It's not the people that know. Because the thing is, the people that know, they're tired of sitting here talking to the masses, and nobody's doing nothing. Everybody want to be part of the Victim Olympics. Like Anton Daniels said. That's all we want to do. Instead of just saying, forget it. Nobody ain't come to save me. I got to go save myself. Let me go out there and get it. Just do it. Just do it. But that sounds too much like right. What else we got here? Research every night, cause and effect. Yep. Jams 3 is on the road right now. But yeah, I mean, it's easy. As much as we look at social media and everything else, people can tell me all day, left and right, what Charlie Kirk said, what this activist said, what that activist said. But it's funny, y'all know what everybody else do, but y'all don't even know what the hell y'all holding y'all 401k. That's funny to me. We know the latest dance, we know Canelo Crawford fought, but we don't know how to. We don't even know what affects our tax rate. These people that y'all celebrate, these people that y'all stare at, look at, fantasize about, they already got theirs. When you gonna go get yours? That's the question. When you gonna get yours? And I'm saying this as a guy that used to have that same mentality. Me, Tupac, I can't say I can memorize it now, but by the time I was the age of 18, I can memorize every Tupac song front to back. When it comes to football, I've said it many times on the channel, I'm the epitome of being a jock. Meaning, I can tell you every position in football, what they need to do on every play at every time, and how it works. I can tell you what safety needs to drop down. I can tell you the area responsibility, linebackers, how many step drops they need to have, what holes, AB gap, C gap, tech stunts. I know it all. Knew it all. But the thing was I was filling my brain with a lot of stuff that wouldn't do nothing to better me or my family. But then magically, I stopped listening to all the music. I don't say I don't listen to no music. And I start filling myself with information that will help me way in the future. That will help my family way in the future. And then my family now is way better off when I just wanted to stick to be a jock, to follow my favorite football teams and know all the sports stats and know what all the professional athletes' contracts was. I fill my brain with other information instead of the information that wouldn't help me. And then, yet here we are. The question is, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do to open the gate? Because ain't nobody standing there stopping you. Only person that's stopping you is you. Jams 3 is on a roll. Distraction is the key to keep you in the 9 to 5, like the Roman theater. He's 100% correct. Don't ever sit there and think because you got a 9 to 5. Y'all just seen it this week. A lot of people lost their job thinking they was comfortable. Then they was very adamant on how they felt about the whole Charlie Kirk situation, and then they get back on social media and talk about how they get fired and now they can't pay their bills. You cannot be 100% dependent on the job. This is not a channel that's gonna say, hey, you need to leave your job. But what I've always said is you cannot be 100% dependent on a job thinking you're gonna have it for the next 30 or 40 years. You better be doing something outside your job, leveraging the active income that you make to make more income so you can be able to say what you want to say. And I've said that for years, not because of this Charlie Kirk thing or because of the BLM thing or anything. I've always said that. So that's what that is. All right, let me shore it up. Let me shore it up on the back end just for people that's keeping track of the trades that I'm in. I do have, y'all know that I talked about it weeks ago. Oscar, I bought the shares around $13 or $14 range. And then I also put on a couple option trades in the $17 range for the $18 options. So y'all can do the math on that, on the profit on that. SoFi, y'all know we've been in SoFi since it was about 6 and change. And I've been loading the boat on that for forever. So SoFi, I'm still in that. The new plays that I've put on, I think I put them on before the last week live, but I don't think I talked about them. Target and UPS, those two stocks are at their COVID lows, not 52-week lows. They're at the COVID lows. That's why I'm playing lead options, a year, more than a year out, and taking advantage of that on the recovery of that. When will I exit? I don't know, but I'm just letting y'all know that I'm still in the game. And I'm not saying that you need to follow me. I say you need to do your homework. You need to do your homework, do what's best for you, and then you do your own thing. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. But with all that being said, right, and then y'all know I got the crypto plays going and all that stuff, the real estate plays, business plays. I'm still doing all that. But all in all is, again, and I'm going to say it for the last time, stop gatekeeping for yourself because ain't nobody stopping you but you. But with all that, y'all have a good one. Please like, subscribe, share this video. Please, 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 please. Please help out the channel. And we'll see you in the next video. Y'all have a good one.